Please give a warm welcome to Ryan Brett.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me here today. A little brief presentation here on the fire season outlook. Just point to you to get advancing. Okay. National Cohesive Wildland Strategy. I'm just going to talk about the response component of that, our cooperating agencies, and then specifically the local fire departments in the area. So I'd like to know what the demographic of the room is. For example, if you live in our jurisdiction, which is all of East Wenatchee to the Trinidad Train Trestle, the base of Badger Mountain to Lake and Rock Park, cross the river, the Swakane, come back into town up Birch Mountain, number 1-2 Canyons, Wenatchee, Squilchuck, Wenatchee Heights, Stenote Basin, Malaga, Clawton. That is our jurisdiction. Raise your hand if you're within our jurisdiction. Okay, great. Next, Orondo, Chelan, Manson, Eniat. All right. And lastly, Monitor, Cashmere, Blewett Pass, Shasta, Leavenworth, and Lake Wenatchee. Okay, excellent. And Grant County. All right, welcome to Grant County. It means an excluding it. Mutually, yes. Every month we get the forecast from Predictive Services showing us what the outlook for fire season is. To the upper, that side facing you guys, it starts off in June. It's red. July and August is brutal. September is still brutal. No surprise to us here in the shrub steppe environment. We're going to burn every year. We within our jurisdiction probably have 150 wildland fires in the summer. So the National Cohesive Wildland Strategy is resilient landscapes, fire adapted communities, and safe and effective wildfire response. And I'm just going to touch on that in 15 minutes here. And by the way, that was our helicopter. We have 2 of these. We partner with the Department of Natural Resources. They're based out of Malaga. The DNR provides a pilot. We provide the crew members, and it is a wonderful asset to have in our community. Success factors for our wildfire response is what the bullets stated. However, I found an analogy that usually works. Who watches mixed martial arts, the fights in the octagon? Okay, the analogy won't work. That's the second time I was on the stage Friday night and I made that analogy like, only 5 people watch mixed martial arts. Humorously, the aircraft, as soon as we get dispatched to a wildland fire here in the shrub steppe, as the doors are going up, we're responding with everything we've got. We're calling on our neighboring departments. We're on the phone immediately calling our cooperators, Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, Department of Natural Resources. Send us aircraft, send us bulldozers, send us hand crews, everything we can get our hands on. And with God's grace, the way it's worked so well for us is we're getting this thing all at once. The aircraft comes in. Now here's where the mixed martial arts thing comes in. The aircraft comes in and it's like a flying Superman throat punch. It takes the fire's will to live away. But it doesn't put it out. You have to get the apparatus, the hand crews, the bulldozers, and the ground and pound, guys on top of the other guy beating him into submission. To beat him into submission, you got to beat the fire into submission. So in layman's terms, that's how we fight fires. Our cooperators are the Forest Service, DNR, and Bureau of Land Management. And our success is because of them. They are absolutely incredible. Your local fire departments have to do everything. We had called on every event you could think of. Yes, we will go get cats out of culverts and water rescue, hazardous materials, car wrecks, and we do everything. These people are the wildland specialists, and they are absolutely amazing. They come in and are a force multiplier to us, and we unify command and work together. So we did a study. The Wildfire Research Center out of Montana and Denver has been up here twice. They're coming up for a 3rd time to study in Douglas County. And this is just a snippet of a couple of the things they studied. The neighborhoods, I had to chop the slide up, but the neighborhoods represented there are the Squilchuck Basin, Boudry Boozer at the bottom, Upper Methow, Forest Ridge, Mission Ridge area. Their opinions on what we're able to do. And as local firefighters will have sufficient resources to keep the wildfire from spreading. And you can see a lot of people think we do, and we don't. We do not. It's a Forest Service hand crew has 20 people on it, one hand crew. We have 16 firefighters on duty for 211 square miles. So we can get about 8 fire trucks in a neighborhood, and then we're dependent on everybody else coming in. So we do not have the resources. Fire departments are built under the auspice of putting out one house fire at a time. And then, again, we have the sufficient resources to protect threatened homes. That is our goal. I mean, we take it personally if a house goes up in flames. We do. We're not supposed to, but we do. It is our goal to always stop these things, and because our resources are limited, we have to just bump the fire past the houses until we can find a place to draw a line in the sand and stop it. And these are just our local fire departments here in the region. And can you just go to my next slide, please? Okay. The reason back up to that, please. The reason I have these slides here is 82% of the fire departments in the nation are volunteer. Our department is fortunate that we have a significant career staff, albeit we are 30% understaffed. And we have the ability to increase our staffing, yet we are trying to be very mindful of taxation on the public, because we don't know how fast and how much you're willing to be taxed for us to increase to the level of service you deserve. Now, our neighboring departments, one in particular, people who raised their hand for Monitor, Blewett Pass, Shaston, etc., they haven't passed a levy in 50-something years. And it takes money to do this. So I can't in uniform stand up here. I'm not standing here saying vote yes or no, or the Public Disclosure Commission will file a complaint against me. My ask is, do you know what fire district you're in? Do you know how much you're paying them? Do you know when the last time they ever asked for money was? Please become informed so that you can make that informed decision on whether or not you're going to support your fire department. The more robust staffing we have right here locally exponentially increases our success of stopping these things fast and early. And again, it's not fair to compare and contrast the fires in the forest versus fires right here in the valley in the shrub steppe. It's totally different fuel type, and we generally have fairly easy access to these fires. We can get on them. And they'll burn for a day, days, or a week, and they'll go out. Versus in the forest, we have the smoke up here from the Palmas fire. Can you imagine trying to coordinate the logistics of getting that far remote into the wilderness to try and put one of these out? So I'm saying this because sometimes we'll hear the criticism of, well, why doesn't the forest just jump on these things like you do in the valley? Well, we can't. That's why we do it. I'm sure they would if they could do it too, but it's situational. So how much? No 2-minute warning yet? Okay, let me just give you a quick riddle here on, this isn't wildland related, but it's fire department related when you consider your support to your fire department. We only have 2 people on our fire engines, but at least we have 2, and they're stationed in the stations and they're able to respond right away. The 11th commandment in the Bible is all fire engines should have 3 people on them. And that is our goal. It's what you deserve, and it's what we deserve for our safety. And let me tell you why. The national standard is 4 people on fire engine. We're just asking for 3. Having done this job for 33 years and trained by some amazing people in the crowd here, it's a 3-person job. It just is. And here's why. If you go into cardiac arrest, you need 3 things. You need them right now. Someone needs to breathe for you, someone needs to do nonstop compressions, and someone needs to defibrillate you. If you can have those 3 things happen aggressively and immediately, your chances of survival are the best they'd never be. So we have 2 people, so you're not getting there. You're just not. That's what we give up. We don't like that. That's just the lesser of the three. Now, when we get called to a house that's on fire, the state of Washington gives us an exemption to the law of, they say if you have three people show up, and Dr. Hesberg says, my grandchild's in the house right here. We have three people. We can say, okay, where are they at? And we're going in. We can go in legally. With two people showing up on the fire, Dr. Hesberg says the same thing. It's like, okay, great, where are they at? So the fire engine's going to be here in 3-4 more minutes. When they get here, we'll go in. That's a long 3 to 4 minutes. So our goal is to aggressively get in and search and pull people out of fires. To the best of our ability, we need 3 people to do it. I'm just going to pause right there because I still have time and I would love questions.
We also have some.
A couple Mentimeter questions.
Oh, please. So, thank you so much, Brian, Brett, and we'll have a chance for a question from the audience. So now's the time to pull out your smartphone if you have one and take a picture of that QR code that's on your table. That will prompt you to a link where then you will be able to answer this question. Question is, if you were asked what local fire district you reside in, do you think you could answer that question correctly? Very confident people here today. Yes. And while people are filling this out, I will take a question from the audience.
I read OSP. So I spent 15 years on the interagency Type 2 team. For structure fire people, has it changed that you get wildland fire training? And if so, what is the percentage of people in your organization that have training?
We get wildfire training. We participate in the National Wildfire Coordinator training. We follow PMS 310-1 certifications, and we have a ton of Forest Service employees that work for us now. Unfortunately, the Forest Service hates me because we've taken a ton of their people, but we have great depth and people qualified from ICT-3, Instant Commander Type 3, Task Force leaders, Dozer bosses, you name it, helicopter managers. So we're super fortunate. And then we support the incident management teams with our people because it's only fair. We need the incident management teams. It's only fair to reciprocate, provide people beyond the teams. So it works really well for us.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. That is progressive.
Yes, significantly.
Please, more questions. Yes, we'll take another Mentimeter now. So thank you for answering that first one. If you go click next after that last question, you should be able to answer this, and we'll take a question from the audience.
I'm wondering about our friends from the west side coming over here and telling us how big a piece of property we need for a house so that we can put lots of houses in here and become squalor like they are. Where we lived on a small street. If people parked their car on the street, the fire trucks couldn't get through. Yet they wouldn't do anything about it. And they want to do the same thing over here, which is going to make your job 3 times your part. Why do we allow these people to tell us how to live over here and overpopulate? So we have more people, more taxes, and less money seems to be going to the proper places.
Yes, sir. It's a community development question. I completely understand the concern. So what we advocate for is proper access, current code, streets that are wide enough, turnarounds that are sufficient, parking signs to keep people from parking on the roads to determine access. We're at the whim of every entity within our jurisdiction's community development. And the WUI code, as Dr. Hesberg mentioned, that's been adopted somewhat to some degree and not adopted at all in others. And just as this isn't anecdotal, the former building official here in the community pre-COVID went out to spec a home to WUI code built standards versus one without WUI code built standards. And pre-COVID, they found out the cost was $1 more per square foot. So 4,000 square foot home, 4,000 more dollars over a 30-year mortgage. Worth it.
Thank you so much. That is all the time we have for questions. A big round of applause for Brian.